Community Board 1's General Board Meeting. Today is Thursday, January the 30th. It is 6:15. For clarification, in the absence of the chair, she's not here today. I am now assuming the role as first vice chair and running the meeting as it is ordered and stipulated in the charter and the bylaws. My name is Freddie Perez Jr. Mr. District Manager, could you do roll call, please?
The clerk will now call the roll.
Clarissa Vallejo, Evelyn Alvarez, Gandhi Ambrose, Zion Baldwin, Daniel Barber, Robert Barnes, Cecil Brooks Jr., Betty Bryant Brown, Stephanie Calzado, Carolyn Chamorro, Maura Cosme, Christina Cover, Audrey De Jesus, Jacqueline De Jesus, Naisha Dayali, Linda Duke, Josephine Fernandez Byrne,
Present.
Ramona Pereira, Brenda Goodwin, Christine Licata, Paola Martinez,
Present.
Zelerny Namorin,
Present.
Argelia Ortiz, Emmanuel Padilla, Marilyn Peña,
Present.
Freddie Perez Jr.,
Present.
Rosa Pinero,
Present.
Joyce Popes, Gloria Rahman,
Here.
Jose Rodriguez, Mohammed Sheikh,
Present.
Patricia Simpson,
Present.
Whitney Williams, Cesar York. Acting chair, we have quorum.
That being said, everybody's got a copy of the agenda. All board members have a copy of the agenda, yes?
Yes.
So then I need a motion from board members approving the agenda as stipulated.
One moment, I'd like to make a motion to modify the agenda.
Well, make the motion to approve it with the modification.
Oh, yes. I, Delaney Moore, would like to make a motion to approve the agenda with the modification to add 2 voting items, the bylaws, and a policy letter.
I need a second on that. Miss Patricia Simpson seconds. All in favor? Oh, wait, any discussion on the motion? Being none, all in favor of approving the agenda with the modifications signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? Let the record reflect the motion passed. I did that, okay. I now need, everyone has a copy of the full board minutes. So since you have that, I need a motion from the board members approving the full board minutes. Motion from a board member approving the minutes.
I make the motion to approve the board
Ms.
minutes.
Josephine Burns makes a motion to approve,
I, Mohammed Sheikh, making the second motion to approve the agenda.
seconded by Mr. Sheik. Discussion on the motion? Being none, all those members in favor of approving the full board minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? Let the record reflect the board has approved the full board minutes. We will now go into public session. Please, understand that, there are a few people, we have a full agenda. Please take 3 minutes and try to be brief and to the point. First on the list is Ms. Carmen Santiago. Are you here, ma'am?
Yes.
Please take the floor.
Let her come to the front.
Let her come to the front. Come to the front. Please tell us your name and any organization you represent.
Thank you. Carmen Santiago, I'm a resident of Mott Haven, what now, 58 years. Let me just get my notes. So anyway, I just want to say, just sending out my own personal prayers to the tragedy today. Just want to put it out there. And again, I introduced myself. I wanted to say thank you to NYPD for everything that you do, that you're ordered to do, to protect and serve us. I see you. I see the difference in St. Mary's Park and the surrounding community. So I see your work. Again, personally, I'm profoundly thank you. You're duly noticed. To the young people, I have a brief message to the point. We need you to run for office and bring new solutions to your community. Also, help to protect and serve us, your community, if you choose that path or career. So my thing is brief. I expected the chairwoman to be here. It was duly noted. She's been here since November 2023. And I've been here several times with the same subject, also the same matter at the 40th Precinct Council. I just have a specific question, to the point answer. What have you done to bring the addict drug needle distribution program indoors, inpatient indoor care program? So that's my question. Just to add to that, if you want to shoot up into your veins or get high, you have to go indoors. So those are just ideas. I've put that out there. Ms. Clarissa's been here. I've talked about St. Mary's Park and the needles and, that particular part of the methadone rescue kit, right? The needle is outside of that. So again, the question is, what has been done to bring the addict drug needle distribution program indoors, inpatient care for these folks, our brothers and sisters who are sick? They can't self-care for themselves. So I don't even know if you can answer that, if there's something out there. So that was 1 minute of my time, I think, 1.5.
Is that your question, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna have Mr. Jordan answer that for you, okay?
Thank you. I'm gonna answer your question,
Jordan,
Sergeant. I can talk now. The Sergeant, I'm just gonna take the mic from you and
He's
then.
gonna respond to your
I'm
question.
gonna respond to your question.
Thank you.
Sergeant. So thank you, Ms. Santiago. First of all, I want to thank you first for your advocacy for multiple years to this community about so many issues that, that the board, have you completed your question?
No, I still have more time left.
Do you want me to answer? Because then I'm gonna eat into your time. So won't you finish everything and then I'll respond, okay? Thank you. I apologize, Chair. Thank you.
Yeah, the suggestion is, I'm requesting, a lot of people are with me in my community. It's pretty large. 2 meetings. The people require more than 3 minutes. Your response time can't bite into our time. Meeting 1, call it this meeting, community general meeting only. The community, where we have more than 3 minutes and more of our subjects and our topics and our problems can be the focus, the community. So that's meeting 1. Meeting 2 is your board voting meeting, which is what you also do in this general meeting. So all that eats up into our time. And most of the time we have even less than 3 minutes. So it's just not enough. So those are 2 meetings, as per possibly revising your bylaws. Yes, I'm finished.
So I'm gonna work backwards, if that's okay.
Sure.
So the way that the structure of how the board works is a structure that each board usually tries to, likely follows a similar structure of how the meeting works. Our work as a board, and this is very public, happens in committee. All the things that you talked about, you're welcome to come and bring those issues up at those committee meetings. We have almost 13 committees, from everywhere from policy legislation, to health and human services, to youth and education, to young adults. There are multiple people who come to spend that time to where the work of the board, the general board meeting, happens in committee. So please take the opportunity to look on our website, to take copies of our calendars, to be able to be engaged in the work of the board during our committee meetings. That's extremely important. The general board meetings happen so that we can pass a lot of the resolutions or solutions or policies that for the board that comes out of the committee meetings. So, and voting items. So those are the issues and we have to remember, whenever we use a space like this, we only have that space for a certain amount of time. So we have to get our elected officials reports, our police departments, our other city agencies that may be presenting, all chopped up into likely 2 hours. And so while I welcome your advocacy, because a lot of the things that you have discussed, the open drug use that's happening, the conditions of our parks, the sanitation issues in our community is something that we talk about every day. If you have the time, I would love to invite you to come to our district service cabinet meetings that happen the second Tuesday of each month. Is when I have all the city agency leaders around the table and we talk about this constantly. Representatives from the mayor's office, representatives from all elected officials, but each city agency, from sanitation to fire department EMS, to our health and hospitals, to our schools, we talk about this issue every day. And the biggest issue that we constantly talk about on multiple levels, Ms. Santiago, is the collections and the open drug use problem. And I'm gonna have our other colleagues talk about it, but it is a constant issue that weighs on the mind of myself and all the leaders of the board, because we also, along with you, live in this community. Our children use these parks, our families walk around, use the banks everywhere where likely, unfortunately, we find these hypothetical use needles. And it's like, we're constantly studying it. We're constantly talking about it. Just today, we had a conversation with the controller of the city of New York, Mr. Brad Lander. And we are looking at talking to every city leader to bring a solution to this issue, because it can't just be one person to be able to resolve this. It's a multi-agency approach. But I don't want to eat into the time of the board meeting. I'm going to let my other colleagues who've been working on this, who are passionate about it, who are working to bring together organizations and people who think this through for a living and personally about what the community board has been doing constantly, because it cannot be a one-day fix. We obviously can't arrest it away. We obviously can't, it takes a multi-agency approach. So I'll pass it to our chair with the chair's permission, to our chair of policy and education, Ms. Lemoyne.
We want her to clarify the procedure, why we do this the way we do.
So first thing, hey, Darwin, I want to say that in regards to our bylaws, because I do policy legislation and bylaws, our bylaws requires us to have this general board meeting so we can vote. Carmen, this is the only time in the month that all 30 plus of us get together. We are never all together, and that is why we have to vote on this meeting, and it limits how long the public speaking time is. So that is why it's that way. However, I do want to say that we've had multiple meetings, and we're working on a letter about getting more funding for syringe collection and the opioid crisis. Like, it's happening at our Health and Human Services meeting. Point was there and all the other people to talk about that issue in particular. And I have been at Friends and St. Mary's Parks meetings, so I understand how important that is to you as well.
Thank you. Let's move on to the second person, is Ms. Lillian Salas Delkinian. Thank you. You better run, you got 2 minutes. I'm only kidding.
That's my question. I just want to put that out there too.
It's on the record, man. It is on the record. Yeah, it's on the record. Once you, we're actually live also. Yeah, it's actually live and we put it on the record. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches a todos. Good evening. My name is Lillian Salas Belkin. I represent Primerica Financial Services, and the reason that we are trying to come in just for the community is because we're trying to educate people and families about how important concepts about financial education and literacy. Right now, we are in a very big crisis in general, what's going on with what we do with our actual, economy at home. How can we help each other? How can you help your kids to go to school? Things of that sort that we are it touches every community in New York and everyone in the country. And the most sad part I've noticed is that our communities are the most underserved. They're the most, that they don't get this information that is so important. So I just wanted to provide the information out there for all of you who are interested in having your communities having free financial and literacy education workshops to do for not just yourselves, but also for the communities that you all live. If there's any questions, please always you can approach us, and we can definitely have a one-on-one to be able to discuss more in detail what exactly the way that we can approach your particular organizations to help you with this particular crisis. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for her?
Yes. Your name and how do we communicate with you?
Yeah, my name is Lilian Salas-Belkin. Lilian Salas-Belkin, and I'm from Primerica Financial Services. I'm here not just with myself, my husband and my colleague, Ms. Cheryl Russo. And we definitely do this because we're very passionate about what's going on with this situation in general.
Communicate, phone number, address.
Yes, so my phone number is 347-351-5492, and also 347-509-4722. Either of those both numbers, you can contact me, but I can also give you my business card, so we can definitely connect.
You can leave it in the back, in the.
Yes, anybody
You
else
can,
have
no,
any
no, you can
questions?
leave the card in the back, where
Okay,
we have all the rest of the,
will do,
handouts and they'll pick them up.
will do,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're moving on with the agenda. Anybody here, 40th precinct? Welcome.
Hello, my name is George Rivera. I am the neighborhood coordination sergeant at the 40th precinct. My command officer could not make it tonight. I don't have anything officially prepared number-wise. But I will speak about what the program is and what we do every single day. Each precinct, citywide, is broken up into zones and program sectors. Each sector has dedicated officers who come to meetings like this. We hear complaints, whatever it may be, ranging from people gambling, people drinking, neighbor disputes, whatever it is. We hear them, we try to mediate the solution, meet the problem. Sometimes we try to have a conversation, reach a solution. If not, we try to figure it out for you guys, either it be enforcement, whatever the case may be. But again, I'm being very short. I'm gonna leave the back, I'm gonna leave my card in the back as well. If you don't want to speak in front of anyone else like us, you can speak privately, and as well as every first Wednesday of the month, we have a meeting at the precinct, the community board meeting. You can address us there as well. We will always be there every single first Wednesday of the month. And that's all I got.
Does anybody have any questions for the 4-0? Please stand up, raise your hand so Ms. Argili can give you the mic. Any questions for the 40th precinct? Mr. Francis?
Yeah.
Questions only, no statements, please. I don't want to do this. Question.
Yeah.
Wait for Ms. Stand up. Wait for the mic.
The policing council meeting, you discussed when, they be held at the policing, and also what you all tend to do with that vacant building on corner 138th Street down to the avenue.
So the meeting will always be every, first Wednesday of the month, every month.
What time?
It's usually around, I wanna say, 5:30.
Okay,
And then, as far as the vacant lot, I'm not exactly sure what's gonna happen with that.
okay, thanks.
Anyone else have a question for the 40th precinct? Please stand. Argilia's gonna get some exercise. She'll come to you, don't worry. She's happy, look at her. She's ready to go.
Hey, I know manpower has been an issue for the NYPD in general, but I'm wondering at the 4-0 if you guys have gotten the mobile field forces that are meant to be at the hub yet, or if that has been delayed, because I know officers were directed to subway stations and things like that. It's just a question.
Can you tell us your name and what organization you're from? You're just a resident?
No, I got you. My name's Shane McClone, and I'm actually a reporter with the New York Times, so, yeah.
So, we do get, people for mobile field force, they have designated zones they respond to. As far as the hub specifically, I'm gonna get help out from, better details in the Bronx, at the Yankee Stadium detail. So they'll come out, they'll have presence there, whether it be in a police car with lights on foot.
And then we also have a dedicated team in the command just for the hub and all the quality of life issues that the hub brings.
Any other questions? Mr. Ambrose?
Yes, thank you. I just have a question regarding the car. We still have a car that's been parked for years in the block. So, and I do recall NYPD was supposed to be enforcing those. I have sent in a couple of information about those cars at the precinct. Apparently, nothing is happening. I mean, we have a car that's been parked since last January on blocks. And this is happening again and again, and we got the rack coming out of it and all these things. It's just, making it difficult.
So, I just took over the program. All right, that's a very valid, issue you want to bring up. But for example, when we come to these meetings, we hear firsthand where the problem is, the location, whatever time will be happening. We got a whole tour operation plan for next week. I'm not gonna disclose where, but we got a whole tour operation for derelict vehicles. We got sanitation involved. There'll be a whole joint operation with sanitation, traffic, enforcement division, and us. We're gonna go around. We're gonna tag cars. We're gonna get rid of cars and try to make the community a better place to be.
Who should we send those information to?
Ambrose, speak into the mic for the record.
So who should we send those information? Because you have, if you have those operation plan, the neighborhood don't know. How would you know? You guys are just gonna fly into the neighborhood. You will see park up, you have no idea if the car's been there for long. And you will not be checking car per car. So these kind of information, I think the community should be aware of what you're planning to do. So people can be able to gather information around their block and send, you guys can act on it. If you don't pass this information to us, you're gonna fly by in the neighborhood and then turn around your report, we only found 5 cars, when we actually have over 100 of them in the neighborhood. So I think we do that, that will make it much easier for you and for us also.
So that's the point of the meetings. We come, we get the information, we try to relay, do a point of contact, and we go from there.
Because I have text those to your colleagues.
Again, I just took over, I give you my card directly. I'll give you my card right now.
He's gonna give you the same answer.
All right, thank you.
I like that.
Just go from there.
Ms. Dahmer, do you have a question?
Yes, I understand that, you just took over, okay, I hear it. At the meetings, we usually get our 30-day numbers or 28-day numbers, from the precinct. And, if you're gonna be the one reporting, I know you're just neighborhood, I don't know how it works, but we used to get 28 days. ComStat, thank you, colleagues, at this meeting, and we would like them going forward. If you are gonna be able to present it.
So I don't think like I said, I think my CEO was not able to make it today, and he just sent out his here to gather information and go from there, but I'll let him know that we would like to move forward, no problem.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? Yes, ma'am, stand. Argelia, I'll get you next, miss. I'll get you next.
Hi, what sector are you?
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're sergeant, you're not in sector. Okay. My name's Leslie Liga, I'm a homeowner.
Hello. My name is Leslie Liga. I'm a homeowner, former business owner in Mont Haven. I'm a homeowner in Mont Haven, former NYPD Central. And we were not notified about this migrant shelter. And there's 200 homeowners there, mostly women homeowners. We bought the homes when we were younger, and now we're senior citizens. So I would like to know, I've never handled a gun. I would like to know if there's any training for us to buy guns, to learn how to use guns, to prepare to protect ourselves. I know there's not enough police officers. We've had a problem with addicts, jumping our fences, problems we haven't had in more than 20 years that we've been here. It started around COVID, people disrespecting our neighborhood. So now they want to put 2,200 men a block away. They want to put a jail. So it's my right as a homeowner to own a gun. I know nothing about guns. So can we learn about it? And since this migrant shelter is coming, and we really don't know who these men are, is there a plan yet how NYPD can protect us, and there's elementary schools in the area as well, homeowners, seniors, it's a senior district. Are there any plans, do you know?
All I know in regards to the shelter is, there will be some type of police presence there. As far as I know, there's rumored to be the whole day, but nothing's been confirmed yet. I also do know that there's gonna be private security there. Somewhere around like 40 security officers are gonna be there, some retired deputy officers as well. In regards to the shelter itself, there's nothing confirmed. I can't elaborate anything further in regards to what we're gonna do, because it hasn't been determined yet. I don't want to give you any false information. As far as getting a gun, before you get a gun, please, you need to get a license. To get a license, you gotta apply through our licensing division, and then if you get approved, there's courses you can take, well throughout the city that offer you, one, how to learn how to operate and handle the firearm, as well as how to shoot the firearm, but you need that license first. What that process takes, I don't know how long that's gonna take, to be very honest with you, but there is a formal process for this, and you just need to get that license, you can apply. If they get it to you, then you can continue on the process.
It's just, I'm here from the 1980s, and I lived in Manhattan. Every store owner had a gun right here, because the 80s was dangerous. That wasn't the problem in my Haven when I moved here in the year 2000. And I know my Haven since 1990. But I know for a fact, store owners in the Bronx have their guns. They're not right here like they were in the 80s where you could visibly see it, but they all have guns.
Thank you. Ma'am, another question, last question for the forum.
Hi, so on the hub, as we know, there's a lot of, drug use there. But every Saturday morning, I'm sure probably on Sundays, but usually when I'm heading to the gym, it's already 6:30 in the morning and there's a whole club going on. And I just wonder, it's like club music all day. And yeah, I might like it at 3 p.m., but what about those people that are sleeping? So I'm not sure if you guys know about that. I would like to know what you're gonna do about that because it's been happening for the past few weeks.
When you say club, you mean like after hours, probably people are covering through the night?
Whole DJ thing. Whole DJ, hooked up to the light.
You mean in the hub itself?
Literally in the hub, there's a whole DJ. I mean, I could invite everybody, but it's not my party.
It'd be helpful with that, to please provide the full address either before, so that the officer can make sure that the second officer is.
So literally across the street from Home Goods, you know where the store is there with the pharmacy, right across the street. You can't miss it.
No, I'll definitely pass information not only to the second officers, but again, there's a whole hub team, there's 2 supervisors, 20 times dedicated to the hub. And, we follow, well, actually, we follow with us. If you go to my meeting, you see if we took that.
Thank you. I'm gonna just go off the agenda here for a second. I wanna know something. By a show of hands, how many people here have ever held a gun in their hands? And how many of you have formal training in that? 2 people. Even with formal training, you're talking to a former US Marine. It is not the thing you wanna do. Don't take this upon yourself to go get a weapon because you're afraid. That's why NYPD is there. Sometimes you start feeling afraid and because somebody's moving in the neighborhood, let things, take its course before you make that mistake and you accidentally shoot yourself, shoot a family member, or shoot an innocent person, and then things get worse. Stay away from the guns. Let the professionals handle that. That's just my opinion. And you have your own, but I needed to share that with you. Before you take somebody's life, your whole life will change. You do that, total. Thank you. PSA 7, anybody from PSA 7? Not here? Thank you. All right.
Oh, you want me to say something?
Yes, I'm on fire.
Oh.
So,
Vice Chair, I would like to make a motion, Marilyn Peña would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to bring up the.
Order, please. Go ahead.
Vice Chair, my name is Marilyn Peña, and I would like to, amend the agenda, make a motion to amend the agenda to bring up the voting items.
Thank you. I need a second.
Ambrose second.
Ms. Carolyn Zamora, second. Discussion on the motion, the reason why we're amending.
We're amending the motion so I can vote on the item.
Explain, yeah. Yes.
So I can explain the 2 voting items.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, let's take a vote. All those in favor of amending the agenda signify by saying aye. Any noes? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Mr. Loney, you have the floor.
Okay, board members, we have, one is just our bylaws. They hadn't been voted. Do we need to vote them up? We need to vote on the bylaws. They may not be in front of you right now, you guys, but you guys have seen them before. And is there any, wait, I need to make a motion. I, Delaney Namora, make a motion to discuss to vote on the new bylaws. Revised bylaws for Bronx Community Board 1.
First, does everyone have a copy of it? You have to make sure all board members have a copy of the bylaws. You have a copy of the, okay, we have.
Can someone second my motion?
Well, I have a question.
Yes, what page?
Section 7, I have a question. So it would be page cover 2, it would be the back of page 2. Section 7 specifically and section 8.
Well,
Article,
now we need to.
Article 3, members.
Okay,
Okay, so here's the question. The question is, this is how it reads. The first vice chairman shall have all the powers and perform all the duties of the chairperson in the chairperson's absence. Upon a vacancy in the office of chairperson, the first vice chair, like myself, shall assume the office of acting chairperson until a new chairperson and first vice chairperson have been elected. The question is, when will that be? Let's say someone passes away, somebody gets indicted, somebody quits. When is the date specifically, or do we wait for the next election? So you have to be specific on that.
we have no answers to that right now. And I think everyone probably needs a physical copy so they can read along. So now I would like to.
Yeah, I need to table, okay,
Table.
the same thing applies to section 8. You have to specifically say when the election will be held.
Okay, so we, will table the bylaws until next month, the voting portion of the bylaws. Do I need to withdraw the motion?
I would suggest this goes back to committee, so you can address that one, right? And I think that's the only thing I have, unless there are other committee members who have looked at the bylaws and found some sort of, an issue, okay?
So we'll email the new bylaws to everyone, and then this will be a conversation for next month. Whitney. Okay, Whitney, you go ahead, we're still in discussion technically.
I just want to know if anybody else on the board or anybody, because I also understand that the executive board, the executive committee has had these bylaws for almost 3 months now. So if you all have any additional questions or suggestions, if you could raise them now today or get them to the committee lead, Mr. Warren, before our next meeting so we can address all concerns at that meeting, that's great.
I agree 100%.
Yes.
Everyone should have a copy and should have had it, and we should have looked at it. But, okay, he'll mail it out. The district manager will mail it out, email out to all board members today. I suggest everyone all board members look at every section of that. And if you have a suggestion or a problem or an issue, you need to address it with the bylaws, committee chairwoman, Ms. Delaney Namora. Ms. Namora, you still have the floor.
Okay, so, we're gonna have to table that motion. I am now gonna be discussing a letter that everybody has, okay? Okay, so I, Delaney Namora, make a motion to vote on the immigration policy letter.
Let them know.
Oh, so I need someone to second the motion.
I would go and second the motion.
Well, first you need to read the letter. For the record. For the record. No, for the record, read the letter.
Now, before
Yes.
the second motion?
Yeah, you can't have them vote, there's no rule the letter.
Okay,
Right, read the letter and why, what's the purpose of it.
okay, I got this, okay. So you guys, there is a immigration policy letter. On the second page of the letter is the Lincoln Riley Act. We have a whole bunch of letters right here, if you're looking for the letter, okay? Some people say they don't have a letter.
If anybody doesn't have it.
Okay.
Let me give it out for the phone.
Vouchers, okay, shoot, the letter, okay, perfect. I'm gonna read okay. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna read the summary of the act first, which is the Congressional Act, and Paola is gonna help me and read it.
So that way you understand what the legislation says
Put in my phone.
and then what we are proposing. Okay. Laken Riley Act. This bill requires the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, to detain certain non-US nationals, aliens under federal law, who have been arrested for burglary, theft, larceny, or shoplifting. This bill also authorizes states to sue the federal government for decisions or alleged failures to related to the immigration enforcement. Under this bill, DHS must detain an individual who, one, is unlawfully present in the United States or did not possess the necessary documents when applying for admission, and two, has been charged with, arrested for, convicted of, or admits to having committed acts that constitute the essential elements of burglary, theft, larceny, or shoplifting. This bill also authorizes state governments to sue for injunctive relief over certain immigration-related decisions or alleged failures by the federal government if the decision or failure caused the state or its residents harm, including financial harm of more than $100. Specifically, the state government may sue the federal government over a decision to release a non-US national from custody, failure to fulfill requirements relating to inspecting individuals seeking admission into the United States, including requirements related to asylum interviews, failure to fulfill a requirement to stop issuing visas to nationals of a country that unreasonably denies or delays acceptance of nationals of that country, violation of limitations on immigration parole, such as the requirement that parole be granted only on a case-by-case basis, or failure to detain an individual who has been ordered removed from the United States.
Thank you, Paola, for that. Okay, so just to give you guys context from this summary section, is the part that is very key is that under the section that says under this bill, DHS must detain an individual who, number two, who has been charged with, arrested for, or convicted of, or admits. That means charged with means, you guys, whether that person is ever committed of a crime, if that crime is later dismissed, or let's just say you got arrested, but the charges are dropped, you will still be mandatory detained if it's over $100 or $100. That's petty larceny, okay? All right, so what that is gonna create right now, you guys, is we have a lot of people who are paroled while they're pending their immigration proceedings. If you are convicted of certain crimes, then obviously you are detained. But usually $100 or a charge, that means you're just arrested but weren't convicted, does not usually create immigration risk to you, right? Because charges get dismissed, things get thrown away, whatever. But this bill will now let the mere arrest, which was a charge, mandatory detain you with no way of getting out of immigration custody, okay? And so that bill happened when it was discussing policy, which is my meetings are on Thursday. That bill had not been signed yet, okay? That bill has now officially been signed by the President of the United States of America. And so these immigration bills that are happening much faster than all of us can meet, because we only meet once a month. And ICE is now in our community faster than anyone can cherry pick how we want them and who we want them to take. And so this letter, which was originally a Lincoln Rally exclusive letter, is just general immigration policy letter. So now I'm going to read it, okay? The proposed letter. Language can be modified, but this is the proposed letter. Community Board 1 wants our position to be clear, as many immigration laws are being decided faster than our elected officials can communicate with us and us to them. Additionally, ICE is raiding our community right now. ICE officials claim Enforcement priorities are violent convicted offenders. However, with the passage of the Lincoln-Riley Act, that's what I just read you guys, they will expand their targets to collect individuals with no criminal history, mere accusation of such as burglary, theft, or larceny over $100. This could potentially sweep thousands of people into mandatory detention, destroying families. The statute requires mandatory detention when an individual is, and that's the section of the bill I cut and paste, charged with, is arrested for, is convicted, or admits of convicted, or admits committing acts which constitute the essential elements of the things there. The bill also lacks fundamental due process, providing no ways for individuals to advocate against immigration detention or the underlying criminal accusation, even when the charges are dismissed or if there is a misidentification. Mandatory detention based on mere arrest is unprecedented. It ignores our constitutional rights afforded by the accused in this country, which is innocent until proven guilty. As our Attorney General, Letitia James, stated in her letter opposing this bill, this law would prevent the proper administration of justice by sweeping people into immigration detention before the case are being tried and heard. I also put footnotes for you guys. Sorry, it's the lawyer in there. Furthermore, the bill invites predatory policing, increased discrimination, surveillance, and false and unlawful arrests that disproportionately impacts communities of color like ours. Because outside of legal status in this country, we and our new neighbors have very little difference. A community board wants public safety that includes due process for everyone. And it's clear that most immigrants are not engaged in criminal activity, let alone that their presence is driving violent crime. According to NYPD, January 2025 press release, homicides and shootings have been reduced for the third consecutive year. Considering that migrant crisis began in 2022, the wave of migrants did not cause an increase in homicides or shootings. Furthermore, 2024 marked the second straight year of declines in the nation's largest subway. Again, footnote is the NYPD press release. New York City Police Commissioner Jessica S. Tisch announced that 2024 concluded with nearly 3% reduction in overall index crime, which equates to 3,662 fewer incidents and 1,000 fewer victims of violence and disorder across the 5 boroughs. Our community public safety issues stem from high concentration of poverty, which has symptoms like homelessness, drug addiction, physical health concerns like asthma. There is no doubt our community needs support. However, laws of this nature not only fail to address our needs, but they are unnecessary, as the New York State Attorney General explains in her letter. Federal law already grants the authority for ICE, Immigration, Customs and Enforcement, to detain non-citizens facing removal proceedings who have conviction for certain crimes or are believed to pose public safety. We commend Senator Chuck Schumer, Senator Kristen Gillibrand, and Congresswoman AOC for voting against this bill. We hope to continue to speak out against the erosion of the civil rights of these bills, and we expect our Congressman Torres, now informed, to listen to the community needs and convert further harm. Lastly, we ask for resources to protect our community members from the fear of ICE, such as know your rights training in multiple language, so people can feel empowered to participate in society, seek medical assistance, attend service in places of worship, take their children to school without fears and threat of ICE detention. All right, that's the letter. Any discussion on the letter and the bill? Yes, Cesar York?
I wanted to know, who is it being sent to, and also.
It hasn't been sent to anyone because we have not voted on it.
Okay, no, who's possibly going to be sent to, if it's voted on, who it will be sent to. The other one has to do with, I think, New York is a sanctuary city, right? So.
Yes.
So ICE, anywhere, they're not supposed to go in any place, and there are laws for that here in New York City, because it's a sanctuary city.
So I'm gonna explain to you what sanctuary city means.
Yeah, that's what the explanation that I wanted.
Okay, sanctuary city means our agencies cannot turn you over. So that means Department of Education can't turn over the students or the parents, or if you're at a hospital, the hospital can't turn you over. But if you're in the street, they can knock on your door, they can pick you up on the sidewalk, but we just cannot we will not turn you over the agency. So Department of Probation will not turn you over. If you get stopped at NYPD for, let's say, a traffic light, or you jump the turnstile, they will not turn you over. There's some exceptions with Rikers. If you are convicted of a very violent crime, they will turn you over. The crimes are listed, but New York City's agencies won't turn you over. They can pick you up. If you're on the street, if you're on the hub, they can stop you and pick you up. Yes.
Isn't Rikers City?
Yes, but we have exceptions for certain felonies. For certain violent felonies, we have always made an exception. But you are right. 85% of the cases in Rikers, there's no turnover. Only my clients, when they go upstate, do they get turned over. Okay, so this is just for like when you're, people don't want to get picked up, walking their kids to school or church. Church is not a city agency, so you could technically be picked up at church.
Who's the letter being addressed to?
Oh, sorry. First question. The letter will be sent to all 4 of our federal elections. That's all 4 of our federal electeds. I say 4 because they cover our district.
Senators?
Yeah, 4 is for, we have 2 senators.
No
Both, yeah.
Congress people?
Huh?
No Congress people?
Yeah, we have 2 Congress people. Yeah. Any other questions?
But quick question, can NYPD accompany ISIS?
Yes. NYPD cannot accompany us.
Well, but why is the case that was at the Ogden, a couple of days ago? At Ogden, they went together.
They were collaborating.
Where collaboration,
So I think.
Oh, they left. Well,
So that was well, the thing is that according to what was published in the news, because there could be a lot of other things happening that we are not aware, right? That was supposed to be a special collaboration to get that gang member or gang leader from Venezuela, but they're not supposed to.
yeah. Okay, so, the rule is, like I stated, that for certain felonies, okay, they're like listed. And you are convicted. That means you are convicted of a crime. This is very new. If you're not convicted, you get to be deported. But if you are convicted of a crime, and there's limited list, yes, you can be deported. And I'm assuming this said gang member fall under that. And I'm assuming he committed a crime here in New York, because if he committed a crime in Venezuela, then the FBI would pick him up or something like that. So I'm not sure about that particular case. So I can't tell you that answer. Wait, hold on. Is there any other questions on my table?
Yeah.
I'll get to the public later.
No, I just want to add on to what you were talking about. So I think that what the connection with the YPD officers and the federal agents is that this individual is a heavy, leader of the gang that they were talking about, but also he committed a heavy crime in Colorado. So there will be traces in him until he got the Bronx, who's hiding him, and so they got that going on.
And again, one of the biggest things with the Lincoln Riley Act is that this is about retail accusation of over $100. We are not talking, felonies have always been a very special place, and we are talking about non-conviction. So usually an arrest alone has never, you shouldn't get arrested, but until you're convicted, you were maybe safe. Go ahead, Audrey, or Mohammed. Audrey first, and Mohammed, if you have a question, I don't want to just go with you.
My question is, after we vote on this, how long are we gonna expedite the letter?
It's whenever the board can get it out. Board meeting, like, Anthony and Steven, they get it out.
Is there a time limit on this letter that we have to submit?
It'll be done almost immediately.
We'll do it immediately, because the thing is, you guys, the immigration laws are happening much faster than we can talk, By the time they happen, they've already happened, so that's why we just want to get it out. In general, for the next bill, everybody knows, we don't want, some people have rights too, Mohammed?
Yeah.
Oh, understand.
Let me get the.
Come on down.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mohammed Sheikh, and I introduce myself. I am the chair of Immigration Committee. So, since Community Board 1. So, 2-3 things I need to discuss with that. The bill that I had, my colleagues is handed to me. I just get it in my hand like 1 hour, 2 hours before. I do not know much more about it. What I am asking, Honorable President, to consider this kinds of bill later, we need little bit more time. Why more time? we are living in a critical moment, each and everyone, everywhere, in the community, in the state, and all across the country. And immigration things are changing so fast. So we need to act ourselves, like some of the things that are offering from our elected official, like NYCIC, Do You Rights. We need to educate our people, our community. Our people, our community know their rights and some kinds of things, and according to what will be our elected official. With this respect to everyone, the only concern we have now, what I heard Century City in Chicago, the ICE and other agency, whatever they are targeted, they cannot complete or they cannot be successful because those people, they know their rights. And we have to do the same thing here. If you don't know what to say, if you don't know how to act, then we will be falling behind. Other thing, each and everyone knows that when federal law comes, state laws, city laws, local laws, am I right? It's not that much effective. Can you guys answer my question? They say state of New York law provides the kinds of rights, but when it comes the law from federal government, so which one is effective? Federal laws or local laws, state laws? Can you guys answer my question I had? So what is coming the federal policy? Everybody will comply with that. My thing is, there is a sensitive issue and we are passing a very critical moment. We need to work together in the same pace so we can help ourselves, we can help our community. Thank you for the opportunity that I get from fellow board members and the audience, and looking forward with working together with the critical issue with my fellow board members and this kinds of being. So I am honestly requesting my fellow board members not to move with the letter today. Like the bill, we put it for the next meeting, we should push this one as well for the next meeting. Thank you for the opportunity to say something in front of everybody. Thank you again and wish you guys all the best.
Is further discussion on the current motion? Yes, Christina?
Chair, hi everybody, Christina Cover, I'm senior member of the Education, Youth, Young Adults Committee. I just wanted to ask, I wanted to thank you, Lori, for your leadership in drafting this. And I do understand wanting to have some more time, but I just, with the urgency of the situation, with things ramping up so quickly, who knows where we might be in a month's time. I've heard that there are talks of President Trump mentioning Guantanamo Bay and opening that up as a place. And so I wanted to ask the board and ask if there'd be a chance to incorporate that in the letter. And if we do want to take some more time, if this could be discussed in a subcommittee or a committee meeting, but I do think we want to get something going sooner than later, but also agree with know your rights and making sure we're on the same page. So thank you.
So, I did put know your rights is already in the letter, that is our ask. And I did put due process in there because I just couldn't control all the issues we're having. Guantanamo Bay is a very large place. But if you are adding that we mentioned our concerns about a 30,000 person prison in Guantanamo Bay as added language to the current letter, we can add modification to letters all the time.
Well, I think that the issue of immigration and the potential negative problems that legislation like this can have, especially in our district, is something to be concerned. The South Bronx is over 70% Hispanic. A lot of people come here to the South Bronx. They come from Puerto Rico, even though, people in Puerto Rico have documents, but people go to Puerto Rico, then from Puerto Rico, they come here and they settle in the South Bronx. We have a lot of immigrants from Mexico and from South America and from Central America. So it is an issue because we see people that can be targeted in the streets, and that perhaps they see what's happening and they see it on TV and they are afraid, but they might not have access to the understanding that what is covered in this legislation. So I think that the fact that you can detain people for felonies that do not amount to over $100, that's a very big.
And that's a misdemeanor, actually.
Catch, it's a very big scope. So I think if it's the appropriate time or setting to make a motion to perhaps call for a Know Your Rights forum organized in collaboration with other community-based organizations that not only can help facilitate and provide information and bring those lawyers, Catholic Charities being one of them, of course, but also help get the community, like getting people in the room that can receive the information and also provide the information to other people, because the key here is that we're gonna continue to see these type of actions and they're gonna happen faster than we can act. But we also have to educate our community about like, hey, what should you do if you see ICE in the schools? Like, I got a report that yesterday they were in Washington Heights in one of our schools, at the Gregorio Luperón High School. You know, that is a target. You have over 95% of Hispanic students there. So they're gonna be coming and they know that they don't have, the proper documentation to go in. So the principals at the schools and the teachers, they are educating people about what is the process and kind of like being that barrier and protecting students. And we have to be doing the same. Even if you see ICE going into your building and you know that, what can you do to protect a neighbor? So that kind of information, in collaboration with our policy and legislation committee and our chair for the immigration committee, who does a great work. So.
Thank you so much, Paola, for that. And I do want to just plug, I'm going to put in the email. We do have a Know Your Rights training done exclusively in Spanish on February 15 at La Mogarra. I'll send that via email to the district manager. But DM, I see a public question, but I also saw your hand up.
I'm sorry, the chair wants to move forward with the vote.
Oh, okay, so we'll call.
Yeah, let's call the vote.
Let's call the vote. I'm so sorry. Okay, so, should I just roll call vote?
The chair wants to do a roll call vote.
Okay.
And I think the roll call is
Better.
somebody in the back.
Okay,
Could the clerk will call the roll?
We voted?
yes, and okay.
The motion is to write the letter or not write the letter?
The motion on the floor, you guys, is whether we are voting in support of the letter to our 4 federally elected officials. 2 senators, 2 congressional persons. This is unbelievable. What's happening? Go ahead.
I just had a quick question. Since Freddie left, I think that eliminates quorum.
No, it doesn't.
No?
Mhm.
All right, let me, now that you say that, let me just say something. The audience may have seen a musical chair. Somebody move and I move here. So you may be wondering why he had something to do. And I'm on the next in line, so that's why I moved here. So somebody is looking at me say, oh, my name is Gandhi Hambos. I'm a chair of municipal services. I'm also a second vice chair. So the first one left, so I moved here. So if I walk out, then we're gonna.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay.
You can't just start the vote.
Gandhi Ambrose, how you vote?
Yes.
Robert Lawrence, are you here to vote?
He walked out.
Carolyn Chamorro, how do you vote?
Yes.
Christina Culver, how do you vote?
Yes.
Audrey De Jesus, how do you vote?
Yes.
Jacqueline De Jesus, how do you vote?
Yes.
Naisha Diaby, how do you vote? Josephine Fernandez Byrne, how do you vote? Christine Zakata, how do you vote? Paola Martinez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Delorina Moore, how do you vote?
Yes.
Argelia Ortiz, how do you vote?
Yes.
Marilyn Peña, how do you vote?
Yes.
Rosa Pinedo,
Yes.
Claudia Rockman,
Yes.
Jose Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mohammed Sheikh,
No.
Patricia Simpson,
Yes.
Whitney Williams,
Yes, it's a modification that we add the language about Guantanamo Bay.
Cesar York.
Yes.
Nineteen yeas and one nay. The motion carries.
Congratulations to the committee, and Mr. Chair, may also explain what, thank you for all those who decided to make the vote. Let's make it clear that the district manager and the team from the office is working with our congressional representatives to talk about a virtual know your rights and immigration conversation. The reason why I say virtual, because it is highly become more difficult now that we are in the immigration issues that we're having now, that anyone will come to an in-person one. And we are working to see that we're elected officials to provide a virtual training, which would invite other organizations like Catholic Charities and others who are experts in this issue. So stay tuned as we have this discussion in the executive committee about when that we will be launching that conversation with U.S. Congressperson Torres and Ocasio-Cortez. We're in discussions about that now. Nothing is solid, no dates have been put together, and is as we look at how that type of conversation will happen, because we understand the concerns in this district. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, so we're gonna proceed to attend the down.
Yes.
We're gonna proceed with the elected official report. The mayor of office.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Leonardo Polo. I'm the Bronx Director for the Mayor's Office. Just a couple quick things I want to bring everybody's attention to. So just the other day, we had Hope Count Day. Hope Count Day is a day where volunteers go out into the city at night and count all of our homeless individuals that are in the streets. It's an important activity because it helps us navigate and to think about budgetary decisions around supporting our homeless population. Because of that, the mayor is allocating in the next coming budget $650 million towards tackling homeless with our families and friends that are unfortunately in those situations. The next thing I want to point out is the mayor is initiating its new City of Yes for families. So this is similar focus to the City of Yes that we had last year. This one is particularly focused on family-sized homes. So the focus for the mayor that he has given to our agencies is to come up with a plan of over 100,000 new locations in our city that are structured around supporting larger multi-generational families. That's going to be our focus when it comes to that, and we hope that when the City of Yes for Families is brought to the community boards, because that is a process where the community boards will be able to provide information and feedback on it, that everyone takes the due diligence of looking through that, and please providing your input on that. Finally, I wanted to talk about February 6th coming up in New York State, Albany. That's called Tin Cup Day. So Tin Cup Day is where folks go up with their little tin cup asking for money from the state. And the mayor will be going up there pushing for a legislation called Axe the Tax. This is something that I hope everyone can get behind just as much as the previous legislation discussion that just happened, because this immediately impacts our community. This is about individuals that are living in our community with under 150% under the poverty level. The mayor and his administrator wants state government to cut taxes for them. In other words, they should not be paying state taxes if you are making that much. And so you say to yourself, 150% under, who is that? That doesn't impact anybody. Absolutely wrong. That would put $63 million back in the pockets of 582,000 people that are living in our cities right now, living and trying to survive under those type of wages. And so what I ask of you is, you know your state representative, please reach out to them, just pick up the phone, send them a letter and say, we need axe the tax to get passed. All right, thank you so much. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I do want to ask Whitney Williams, community board member, if that $63 million in tax revenue does leave the city, does the mayor have a plan to raise taxes somewhere else in order to increase or maintain services for the community members or that would suffer from that?
So the $63 million is state tax, right? So that's money that those individuals are paying to the state, and they no longer would have to pay the state that money. So it's not necessarily factored into the city budget. And just for clarity, the only tax that the mayor can increase is property taxes. Those are the only ones that he can touch. Any other question?
He needs to lower power tax.
All right, how you doing?
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kennedy. I'm a student journalist with Millennium Evening Express. I was curious about the account number. You said that y'all want to do account number. Do you know that number or when we can expect those figures?
Yeah, the event just happened, I think like 2 days ago. It's not only done by city agencies, it's actually done in coordinates with many nonprofit organizations, volunteers that come out as well too. And there's just a full blitz on that day. So, most likely those numbers are still being tabulated, and I'm sure it'll be made public very soon.
Okay, do you have a timeline on when that will come?
I don't, not at the moment.
Okay, also when it comes to the axe to tax, is that the only legislation that the mayor plans to put forward in the budget?
So the mayor's not putting forth the budget.
I'm sorry, not put forward, but, take it to Almay. Is that the only legislation?
As of right now, it's the only one that we are looking for the community support on. I'm sure he's gonna have certain other conversations with the state body, but the one that's on the primary mind of the mayor is the tax right now, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, concerns? Great, you guys have been great. Have a good night.
Wait, I'm so sorry.
Sure.
The family, yes to the family, you know what I'm talking about. Yes. City of Yes family. Is that 100,000 goal on top of the City of Yes housing?
Correct. Any other questions, concerns? Thank you so much. You guys be safe. God bless you.
All right, Dale, thank you. Anybody from the congressman's office? No, we have, Richie Torres, yes. No one. Now move as, AOC.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nipa Ruiz. I am with the Office of Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So due to redistricting, we've gained Mott Haven, and so we will be also representing you in Congress. And so I'm very happy to be here today and excited to learn from you all and also work with you all. But moving on to a few announcements, speaking of ICE, we do understand that there is a lot of concerns in the community about ICE raids. So I did bring in some Know Your Rights pamphlets in Spanish and English, but we have them in Arabic and Mandarin and Bangla as well. So if anybody needs them in other languages, please do reach out to me. Next, if you know of anyone who are concerned about their immigration status, we advise that you fill out a DHS privacy waiver form and keep it in a safe place so that your elected can advocate on your behalf. If you have any questions, please do reach out to me. Please do call our office. Also, recently we saw a series of memos from the administration ordering an illegal federal funding freeze. And after several states sued, a judge ordered the stay. So therefore, this means that you will still have Medicaid, SNAP, veterans benefits. But if you know of anyone or if you have any issues with those, then please reach out to us as well. And then moving on to good news, I'm happy to share that the Congresswoman was selected to serve on the Energy and Commerce Committee. So this is a very powerful committee that guarantees healthcare as human rights for all Americans, fights climate change, and makes life easier for the working class. And the Congressman will serve on Health, Energy, and Oversight Committee. And thank you. And finally, our office number is 718-662-5975. I have my business cards with me. I will be here to share it with you. We have a flagship office in Hunts Point at the Banknote Building. We're open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. If you need anything, or if you know of anyone who needs any federal, has any concerns with any federal agencies, has any casework and needs help, please reach out to us. Thank you so much.
All right.
And the point of information, Mr. Chairman, as of January, we know the congressional lines were drawn, and so now we are represented by Congressperson Ocasio-Cortez and also Congressmember, Richie Torres. Also, so let's make this. So now they both will be coming giving reports to the board at our general board meetings.
Can you just give us a little bit of boundary? Because it's kind of confusing. Can you give us, do you know your boundary? Well,
only my
Haven. Only my Haven.
Only my Haven part of my district is.
Oh, okay, so
right.
Torres no longer.
Right. Well, it splits. My Haven.
You see, that's right. When I said the boundary, because it's kind of
it
confused.
Goes over to Queens and other parts, and then
it comes into.
Right, and then mine. Exactly. All right. I was a little rusty, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So, Jose Serrano.
Oh.
Good evening, everyone. My name is June. I'm the Director of Community Affairs in Senator Serrano's office. I'm visiting you all tonight along with my colleague Jose Ramon, who is usually here, to give the official statement from Senator Serrano regarding the men's migrant shelter that is coming into the community. Our office was surprised to learn of the city's decision to establish a center in the South Bronx, and we were not asked or involved in that decision. While we deeply empathize with those individuals in need of support, it is important to note that the South Bronx has welcomed much more than its fair share of support facilities in our community. The clustering of various support programs in a small geographic area creates challenges for the very individuals we are trying to help. We will connect with our city level colleagues, including the mayor's office, to gather more information about this proposal, and we'll share any insights we discover. We are aware that a lot of our constituents are on the fence, have their guards up about what's going on. There's concern. There are people and immigrants in our neighborhoods who have been here for a very long time and are concerned with ICE and other things that are going on, especially with this new administration. We want to let the community know that we are here to serve you. So please feel free to come to our office or to reach out to us via phone. Unfortunately, we only have an office in, Manhattan at 335 East 100th Street, but we do Bronx constituent service hours here in the Bronx, which I know that Jose Ramon usually, gives you information about. Our office number is 212-828-5829. If you know of anyone who needs any immigration services, who needs information about what to do if they encounter ICE, etc., they can also come to our office. Even though we are state level, we will connect them to where they need to be and be able to connect them with other offices that we work closely with. Anyone has any questions or concerns? If not, I'll be here until the duration of the meeting, and I feel free to ask me for my card or anything like that. Jose Ramon will take it from here.
Mr. Poveda? No, that's continuing, so.
Yeah, so.
That's it,
And if you cannot make it to our office, you can also attend our constituent hours off-site. The first one will be next week, on Friday, Thursday, February the 6th at, not too far from here, at North Haven Public Library at 321 East 140th Street between Alexander Avenue and Third Avenue. We'll be there between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Thursday, February 6th. Then we will be the next Thursday, the following Thursday, February 13th, we'll be at Patterson Older Adult Center, which is at 308 East 145th Street at 145th Street and College Avenue. That will be February 13th between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And finally, on the following Thursday, February the 20th, will be at Melrose Older Adult Center at 372 East 152nd Street between Melrose Avenue and Cortland Avenue between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Anyway, we have left some flyers for each constituent hours. Feel free to reach out to us again, 212-828-5829. Any questions? Well, thank you. Thank you.
Luis Sepulveda? Anybody here? Chantel Jackson?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Shade Johnson. I'm Assemblymember Jackson's Communication Director and Scheduler. I'm here with you all today. We don't have any legislative updates as of yet, but come April, the AM will make sure to send them out. Right now, we're focusing on the budget, and we would like to hear everybody's input on what they think that New York State budgets focus on. Every year, well, this year, the budget, they're dealing with $250 million, and right now they're having hearings to hear how the money will be dispersed throughout the city, the state. So if you guys have any suggestions for what you want to see in CB1, what you think should be a priority, please contribute your thoughts. I left a survey in the back. It'll say constituent legislative ideas, and it'll say constituent capital ideas. We encourage you guys to fill them out. The surveys will be closing on February 10th. So after February 10th, we will not hear any more suggestions. We welcome them, but we won't be able to include them this year. We're also looking for suggestions for how we can beautify Railroad Park. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it or if you live near it. Yes. Okay. We want to hear how you guys think we can beautify the park. There's also a survey in the back for it along with our office information card. You'll see the AM's newsletter, our social media handles. I highly encourage everybody, if you live in Assembly District 79, to be following AM Jackson on our social media and on our newsletter. We send out our newsletter every single week. But also, as a comms director, I'm looking for contributions. So if you ever want to write your own opinion piece or just write a poem, a short story, I'm always looking for new things to include in our newsletter. So you can email me. I think I might have my business cards on me, but in the event that I do not, you can email District 79. It is on our office palm card in the back. we're also going to be having office hours with neighborhood shop on February 4th. They aren't primarily focusing on immigration issues, but they will take anybody, no matter what the issues are. You don't need an appointment. All you need to do is email our office, again, district79@nyassembly.gov. Let us know what you would like to be seen for, and we can see what services we can provide for you.
Chair, if I may answer. Thank you so much for the update. I just wanted to highlight something that you mentioned about the deadline to provide feedback for the assembly woman being February 10th. It's very important that if you have any suggestions as to how the members should be working with her colleagues in the assembly to come up with priorities for this district, it's very important to submit those prior to February 10th. What happens is that with the governor having released her budget priorities, which many of them include services, it's very heavy on services and tax credits for families and expanding resources for childcare, among other services. The legislature now has the opportunity to put forward those priorities, and we have the opportunity, therefore, to tell them how they should be spending money. Another interesting process is that the members have the opportunity to allocate some of their own dollars to projects in the community. So grab that survey and make your voice heard. And thank you so much to the Assemblywoman for the support that she provides, especially for women for victims of domestic violence.
Oh, once again, to do February 10th, she will have to submit her budget letters February 14th. And the budget, even though it's due on April 1st, is late, but we really, really need you guys to fill it out. If you can't fill it out right now, it's on her assembly webpage too.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Mr. Chair, before we go, I'd like for assembly members and senators, what committees do your members sit on?
Yes.
What committees are you sitting on? Because we're not understanding what the priorities are.
So Assemblywoman Jackson is the chairwoman of the Committee on Micro Businesses. She also sits on the Mental Health Committee. She sits now on the Banks Committee. She also sits on the Cities Committee. Oh, hold on, make sure I'm missing one. The Committee on Housing, Committee on Small Business, and the Committee on Education. And she has her budget hearings coming up too. If you follow her on Instagram, we have the links to where you can watch them live on the Senate or the Assembly side, and the dates that they're gonna be live.
And that would be chair of majority conference and chair of design.
Thank you. Chair of Majority Conference and Chair of Committee on Cultural Affairs, Tourism, Parks and Recreation.
Can you explain what majority conference means?
I can get you that information.
Okay.
I can't give you the details, but I can definitely get you guys that information.
Thank you.
Can I send the text?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Amanda Septimo.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Whitney Burnett. I am Chief of Staff for Assemblymember Septimo. I'm going to start with her committees. Assemblymember Septimo is on the Agriculture Committee, Banks Committee, Education Committee, Environmental Committee, Veteran Affairs Committee, and as of this session, Ways and Means. And she is also the Secretary for the Majority Conference. Just 3 updates from Assemblymember Septimo's office. First, I want to echo exactly what the representative from Senator Serrano's office shared. It was very well put. Any concerns about immigration, about the ICE raids, feel free to come to our office, which is right here in the hub, 149th and 3rd. And we will be sure to connect you to the appropriate agencies, services, and help in whatever way that we can. We had announced this at the last 40th Precinct Council meeting. Our office will be doing a summit to discuss and address the issues connected to the drug use, specifically in the hub. We're in the process of planning that now, and we'll provide more updates as we have that information to share. And then lastly, we recently introduced, free legal advising in our office. If you have a legal issue and you need to talk to a lawyer, please call our office and make an appointment. You can speak to, we have a part-time lawyer on staff. It's really important that you call to make an appointment, because if you walk in, you may not be able to meet with him. We don't want to waste anybody's time. You can call our office phone number, that's 718-292-2901.
Questions?
Any questions?
Good to see you, Whitney. Controller Verlander? Oh, you have a question? Go ahead. For you. Is it for her?
Do I have to stand and talk on the meeting? Sure. Okay. Hi, my name is Nico. I'm the chair for Puerto Rican Affairs for the Bronx chapter of Juventud Unida por la Independencia. It's a youth and student mass organization of Puerto Ricans in the diaspora. I had a question about the legal advising and what kind of questions folks might be able to ask. I know we're talking about community District 1, but I've been worried about the tenants who were displaced after the fire in Allenton, and wondering what kind of legal support they could get with the landlord that they've been dealing with. They've been talking about having to sign their rights away in order to get a new lease, in order to get support from that landlord, and I was wondering if that's an example of an appointment that could be set up with a phone call to get kind of legal counseling.
So, thank you. I'll ask, yes, you should work with your local community board or your local elected official, but there are multiple organizations like Palante and a bunch of other organizations that work specifically with tenants who may be experiencing some issues that from their landlord about whether or not their rights have been, this displacement is happening. And if you see me after the meeting, I could be able to give you a contact person who's responsible for Palante, who help with tenants and legal advocacy and support for that afterwards. Chair?
Thank you. Controller's office, oh, you have a question?
Yeah. I'm a landlord, but my tenant had a problem with the city agency, gave no increases for 9 years. I've been working on that, and they were smart.
Bless her.
Oh, shit. Coffee?
Next.
Brad, the controller's office, Brad Lander. Jumani William. Rafael Salamanca is here. No. That's Diana Ayala. Yay. Gloria's here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gloria Cruz. I work for the Deputy Speaker of the City Council in Ayala, District 8. I've given out more of the flyers, and the flyers are also in the back. One of the things that we want to bring to your attention is that the submission dates for the expense applications and the non-capital deadlines are March 20th. And if you wish to ask for any funding or anything that has to do with yourself or your organization, go to the website for Diana Ayala, and you can give you the instructions on how to apply for those funds. Also, we have free tax prep every Monday and Tuesday at our office. The flyer has the QR code, so you can make an appointment, or you can call the office so you can make an appointment. We also have free immigration services at St. Jerome's Hands. They are totally free. They will help you, but you have to call to make an appointment for the remote services or in-person services. And we also have free legal services on February 21st from 10 to 2 for veterans and family members of the veterans from the Veteran Advocacy Project. We also have And some of them, I gave out these cards that were given to us by NYIC, and it says know your rights, and it tells you in 4 different languages what to say if ICE comes to your door. You do not have to open your door, and these are the questions that you can reply to when they ask you questions. And any questions or any concerns, our information is here of all the clinics that we do and all the services that we provide. We also have, District 8 Council, New York City, and then mine is G Cruz at New York City. I always tell everybody, if you don't remember now, you can remember later, just send me an email, you can call, all the information is on the flyer. Any questions or any concerns? Go ahead, Leslie.
I'm still concerned with traffic. We've been asking for 4 years for signs on traffic control. I've heard in the community there was some study being done about the traffic. Just telling you it's still an issue and there's been no response. And I know it's not you, it's from the Manhattan side. There's been no response from Diana. That's it.
We have emailed DOT various times. It's a lengthy process. It does not go overnight. They do have to do a survey, and it takes many, many years. It took me 5 years to get it took me 10 years to get a stop sign, a 4-way stop sign on 140th and Cypress. So about almost 50 car crashes, then we finally got a 4-way stop sign. So it is a process. We are a data-driven city. So what I tell everyone, since we are a data-driven city, 311 is a tool. You say it's not, but it is, because it collects all the data that they need to know. If one person calls and that same person calls 1,500 times, that's not data. If 20 people call, 10 people call, 50 people call, there's a problem. Then it brings awareness. So as we are a data-driven city, I implore everyone to please call 311 or contact our office, and I will assist you any way I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. DA's office. DA's office.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Pena. I am a community engagement coordinator at the Bronx District Attorney's Office. I'm here covering for my coworker, Jumana Escalera. So we had a re-entry employment resource fair on Tuesday. So thank you to everyone here who might have shared the flyer within our community. Over 130 people attended, and many of them have been impacted by justice. We had barbers giving free haircuts, an entrepreneurship workshop, free hygiene kits, flash drives, Metro cards, and free business attire. The Department of Motor Vehicles issued free identification cards. We also had mock interviews, as well as actual employers on site. We also had a variety of tablers and resources, music and food. So we're planning on having another re-entry employment resource fair focused on women who might have been impacted by justice. So that will be in March. So we will send the flyer for that, hopefully early next month. So if you know anyone who might be interested, I will email the flyer to the board. Thank you.
So we're done, community report, huh? Community report, right?
I just want to give you a live update in terms of his title for majority leader. As chair of the Democratic Conference, he is third in command following the majority leader and deputy majority leader. He often oversees the floor during session and always leads the conference where members gather to discuss legislation, the budget, and other key issues. It's a leadership role, and that involves important discussions and whatever's going on here to the bills and all that type of thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to community report. We're gonna start with economy.
Thank you. In our committee work, we discussed several proposals and also followed up with, thank you so much. So in our committee, I'll be brief. In our committee work, we discussed several proposals among
Amongst them, one is the Alan Beckerman, from HPD, who came to our meeting, and he provided an introduction to the Melrose Cornerstone D2 project. This is a 214 unit project with 100% affordable housing. This project is to be developed in the Melrose Commons area. It has a long history, originating from the Cornerstone 3 RFP in 2003, for those of you who might recall that, and involves a complex land use actions, including a special permit and a certification for development over a railroad trench. Jessica Clemente from Nos Quedamos discussed the project along with the development team, including the Procida development and design, Goldstein Hall, and proceed of construction, I think. Procida, and the Procida construction. This project includes, I believe, Nos Quedamos is doing the social services?
Yes.
Yeah, and then, what else should be highlighted? Okay, so the project includes 214 units, as I said, ranging from studios to 3-bedroom apartments, with 40% of the units being 2 or 3 bedrooms, which our community members were delighted by. And it's developed under the ELA program, which provides affordable housing options for formerly homeless households. The building features a 4,000 feet of ground floor retail, 3 elevators, a community room, and a rooftop terrace with a production farm. In summary, we thought it was a great project to be presented to our community. I think personally, we would like to see more stuff like that happening, and our committee asked all the questions pertaining to trash collection, security, etc. And I believe they're trying to secure the permit.
This is preliminary, will come back, in the next couple of months.
In the next month to our committee, so
For you to
the committee in general will have the opportunity to
vote and discussion.
Yes, so you have an opportunity to get a presentation about the ULURP process and also the opportunity to vote. If you wanted more information, feel free. Yeah, come to our next committee meeting for more information or reach out directly. And I think the other important item that we discussed in our committee, we talked about our future community engagement and partnership with other stakeholders in the community as we look to develop our strategic goals for the year, to kind of assess and plan how we want to continue to work with other committees, especially given that some of the issues overlap between the committees, and we want to make sure that we are facilitating that collaboration. And some of those interesting projects are, discussions around the development and activities of the Roberto Clemente Plaza, and engaging with our goals from the BID, as well as providing training for our community members with regards to a variety of topics such as ULURP and also negotiation skills, so that when the folks come to the table with these ideas, we can better advocate for our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paola. We definitely will move on with the public support in housing. I think Dennis.
Then, so can I talk to them? You guys want to add to, since you guys were here? We're very good, yeah. So thank you, Chair. I'm gonna, Anthony Jordan just ran through the board. I'm gonna give a brief overview of what was discussed at Monday's meeting on public and transitional housing. As a committee that oversees all our public housing and nature development issues, along with shelters and other information related to federally or subsidized housing. As you all know, in the New York Times and in other parts of the press, the community board, just like all of you heard, that the city of New York's plan to site a 2,200, which now was brought down to 2,020 single male migrant facility in the Bronx section or the migrant section of the South Bronx. This was little information or no information was absolutely share with the board up until Monday, when the board convened its committee hearing, and where we had Deputy Mayor Camille Joseph, Deputy Mayor and Chief of Staff Camille Joseph and the executive directors of the HERC division of the mayor's office. The HERC division is the division that oversees all of our migrant shelter facilities, single adults and families. The administration came to us to inform us that even though at the closing of, you hear in the news of other shelter facilities throughout the city of New York, this large migrant facility has been open or is planned to be open at the end of February in our district, and provided an overview of the facility. Unfortunately, we were told that it is as right, meaning that this is going to go forward as planned. And there were very minimum discussions about what would the facility be looking like. While the community was up in roar and rage about the way, first of all, the city lack of communicating with the community board. And we had also in attendance our elected officials from Bronx Borough President Vanessa L. Gibson, New York City Council Member Rafael Salamanca Jr., and New York City Council Member Diana Ayala, Deputy Speaker Ayala, to discuss this facility and to hear from numerous amounts of constituents about their concern of this facility and and what that would mean for schools, families, individuals who live in that community, who go to school, who go to work, and who travel or respite in that community. And unfortunately, while the city is moving forward, it doesn't mean the community board or the community is staying silent. We're working on your behalf to be able to aggressively discuss the issues at hand that the city is concerned about, and to learn more about what or any of the issues and amenities or benefits we can get to ensure, one, safety, security for the people living in that community, and then also resources for our brothers who are going to be living in that facility. And so our concern is that we are, first of all, we are not NIMBYs. We are not against migrants or immigration. We are a borough and a district of immigrants, one of the largest ones in this borough. We want to make sure that our brothers and sisters who come to this facility have the resources they need to work on that track to be able to become productive members of society and likely citizens. But unfortunately, the city was very limited with the information that how these facilities are operated, especially how it's sited. And so while we are moving forward, the community board and the leadership will be working with the administration and elected officials to ensure that, one, we maintain quality of life resources for people who live in this facility, but also quality of life standards that we have as leaders, homeowners, work people who live and work here and go to school here in this community. It's extremely important. That's something that our offices will continue to do, working forward with you. We do not do this in a silo by ourselves. We would not act, unfortunately, as if we do not provide a voice for this community. This community would not stay silent, and this community will continue to bring issues that the city, unfortunately, does not bring to our attention immediately, to your attention immediately, and to be able to work alongside with you to help get those things resolved. I don't know, Chair, if anybody else want to add additional information?
I just want to do, for your information, our chairperson could be here, Clarissa. She was considering potentially a follow-up letter. I do not have time to write all the letters, but I don't know what a follow-up letter would look like. I think Clarissa is unclear what the community is a very anti-no. But, and the mayor's office has said yes. I told her I'm not sure if the community is willing to compromise, so that is why there is no letter. But I do think, we have a public housing meeting every month. And I think that is a good place for people who want to continue to have the discussion to attend and for next steps to be articulated, because we are, even if it's a community board, it's still a big community board with a lot of people. And a next step could be a letter, but the question is where we stand and what consensus looks like for our community, okay? That's it.
All right, thank you. We're gonna move on, Ms. Burns. There's a question.
I just wanted to say, you need an attorney, can't be waiting. You need to do a cease and desist, that's not a habitable building, you need lawyers, I don't know if you have access to lawyers. That building, I don't know how people are gonna live in there, it's a big warehouse. Yes, they're gonna put money in. No one consulted the homeowners, no one comes out to inform us on your email list, nothing. But you need lawyers, and also, nobody's talking to the community. It needs to be stopped.
I want to add to that, a reference to that. So if you believe that you've not been, this is something that we have been, I invite you, I don't know if you use social media, to join our social media handles. Let me just say what we do. So we have social media, we publicize this in many ways. We had 140 people from the residents. I'm sorry that you were not personally or was not made aware of this at all, but we worked very hard to make sure that we did more than this, that the city did and more that the press did, and to bring to bear the person who was chiefly responsible from the mayor's office, the deputy mayor for administration and chief of staff, and both of the leaders, could be one of the decision makers and people who spoke directly about the reality of what this facility will look like, where we're sited at, what was going on. So I want to make sure that we said that. But if we could do it better, please make sure that when you talk to anybody on our team here, we can make sure we advertise this in our newsletter, we advertise this on our social media handles, we advertise this. I'm sorry? Yes, exactly what I'm telling you. We want, again, I don't want to keep reiterating it, but right, the announcement of the migrant shelter was only talked about in the press multiple times. So when this happened, yes, you're right. There was no information but from the press. It was reported also and on News 12, and also was reported on the news, and even the meeting. So it was talked about a couple of times about it. But unfortunately, we cannot control what the city did not do. What we wanted to do as a community board is to bring the bear. And I get it. You can keep saying that I wasn't informed, I wasn't aware. I hear you, I understand you, we all hear you. We want to say this.
Social media is not a government website, okay? Everyone is working, everyone's looking at social media, everyone in the community doesn't have money to pay the cable to watch news. Well, I try to look at it, but it happens so fast. And people who've invested their money and over 25 years to this community, trying to make it better, it seems like the elected officials and everybody are making it worse. And I think, I'm sorry, but I think this community board now, you're not really talking to the community. You have Mr. Mohammed here, who is a immigrant, I'm sorry, assuming a legal immigrant, okay? And you're not listening to the immigrants in the community and what they're saying. Okay, I'm
Well,
okay, I'm not gonna go, let me take that back.
Well, it's already said, so
Listen,
go ahead.
we're running out of time. This is what we could do, because we can't resolve that here. This is something that's beyond our control. So if you have more concern, you can reach out to the district manager, and then you can have a conversation. Either that, you can come to one of the meetings and have a conversation.
Okay,
Next, yeah, Ms. Byrne.
Hi, Josephine Burns here, Senior Aging. The biggest project in Bill Path coming down the pipeline is, we were supposed to have a representative from transportation come to our meeting. He canceled, so what we came up with is to have a town hall in April and to invite the community, especially the seniors, because there seems to be a very big problem with transportation, i.e. access-a-ride, to help our seniors get to and from whatever necessities they have. So that we are in the planning stage for our next meeting, and it probably will be here in Woodgate. Oh, God.
I think so I have to repeat it all?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, and Jackie, not to do education?
Yes.
Oh, you are?
Oh, perfect.
She's next.
But you asked me if I could read out
on environmental justice.
Okay, have a seat.
Okay. Oh, God. So for the Youth and Education and Young Adults Committee, we had a presentation on ACS and Child Protection Services. We called them in from the 4-year-old boy that had passed away. They discussed the importance of the culture, the shifts in child welfare, practice updates on care teams, front door notification. I explained the shift from culture reporting, supporting families without unnecessary reports, particularly highlighted to disappropriate impact on Black and Hispanic family. The child protection updates and care team, they continue with an overview of the child protection division and the process of investigation and assessment. The community was asking questions about the concerns, suggesting for them to wear body cameras for ACS workers. And they discussed the crisis management system at Lincoln Hospital and a need for additional funding for community-based programs. Thank you.
Thank you. So move on to LGBT. Oh, she left? She left. Okay, she left. Okay, Health and Human Services.
Environmental justice.
No, we'll do you last, Audrey. You wanna go down?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
go.
asked me to go for.
All right, Reverend.
Okay, go. Last time.
This time, use that one.
Okay, hi, everyone. The Environmental Justice and Sanitation Committee. Caesar, your chairperson has to leave and asked me to give you a briefing of our committee. The main issues were trash and waste issues, okay? There will be an Earth Day cleanup details, and there will be further notice of that activity. Also, one of the other main issues, and I myself belong to that committee, was the dog poo situation, particularly in our district. And it seems to be a situation from the Mont Haven going all the way, really up to 161st into the whole park area. We would like to see the law be enforced about people not picking up after their dogs. So we will do further advocacy over that issue and find out who are the environmental control people. We're gonna get in touch with our precincts and so forth. But it turns out that our district and neighboring communities have the worst dog poo issues. And that is terrible. Sometimes in certain streets, you literally speaking have to tiptoe in order not to get your shoes and everything else destroyed. So that we feel has to be advocated with strongly, with stricter enforcement. Of course, there was a policy platform and legislative advocacy, South Bronx Unite was in our environmental committee. Grant proposals were discussed. Again, the community cleanup and tree pits, the congestion pricing, and an elected candidate forum is being proposed. And therefore, that is the main briefing of that committee. Thank you for your attention, everyone.
Thank you. I think
Okay.
that's yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marilyn Peña. I'm the chairperson for Health and Human Service Committee. So I'm going to give you an overview of who we invited, which was Samaritan Data Village, and they pretty much explained the evaluation provided at the Samaritan Data Village, including substance use, mental health, and medication-assisted treatment. Arlene Morales described the central admissions process, which allows individuals to walk in or schedule appointments for assessments. The goal is to assess and determine the appropriate level of care, whether it's residential, outpatient, or inpatient services. She also highlighted the flexibility of the admission process, which can be done in person, over the phone, or via telehealth. I will discuss some of the action items. And so we had advised for Samaritan Data Village to connect with the 40th Precinct Council to collaborate and share information. The Health and Human Service Committee consider, do you want me to mention this or no?
No.
No, okay. The Health and Human Service Committee, to meet with the 40th Precinct, also commanding officer, to discuss a plan of action, including the possibility of police tower and the Roberto Clemente Plaza. And last, the committee to coordinate with other committee chairs and community stakeholders to gain support for proposed, and future resolutions. I will say this, we're here every month for these meetings, these board meetings, and a lot of the times when we have people come up and share their public speak and their concerns, we would highly appreciate for you guys to come and join our, committee meetings. Because not only are we a community board and we're trying our best to reach out to the community, but it's important and also imperative for everyone to know exactly what is going on in the community. I am a single mom to a 10-year-old son, and my concern is safety. And a lot of things that we see outside is syringes out in the open. And so we have been trying our best on a monthly basis to put letters together to try to reach out to communities and also be fully informed and aware on what is going on in our day-to-day. We are volunteers, and so we have day jobs, we have other jobs as well, and we would highly appreciate everyone, even if it's from council, whoever, community people, to just come to our meetings and understand and also ask questions. A lot of the times when people come here to the meeting, it's kind of hard for us to delegate these answers, these questions, when we really have these community meetings and we invite people, we invite local agencies and organizations to understand what is going on in our community. And so with that being said, I'm gonna send it to Delani. Hi, guys.
Before you get to that, I would also like to just add that when you come to a committee meeting, you have more time to discuss your issue.
Right.
When you come in here, the time is very short. We have to be here for 2 hours. You see people are walking out, it's just past 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So if you have an issue that are really important to you, you want to discuss, come to the committee meeting.
Yeah.
That's where you have enough time. If we need to bring any expert to attend to that issue, we will do so. But when you come in here, really, it's just for the reporting.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I don't think that we don't want to give you time. We would like to do that to you, but the time is not permitting us to do so. Thank you.
Okay, so I also, what is going on? My name is Delani Moran. I am bylaws, policy, and legislation. Is there something going on? We had Board of Education, Board of Election come to my board meeting. Lots of things happening, you guys. I just want you to know, for the first time, I didn't have any solutions for all the issues Board of Elections stated. I want you guys to know there's a lot of languages spoken in the Bronx, but they're only allowed to have a Spanish translator. They're not allowed to have any other languages represented. They're only limited in the amount of translators they're permitted. If you guys have issues voting in November, that's because they used the numbers from 2 years ago, which was a midterm election. So therefore, midterm election and presidential election turnout is totally different. Translators needed more. They use the census. New York's neighborhood changes faster than any other community. If you use the census to count for anything, you can imagine how behind you are. I had no solution for how crazy that meeting was. I always have a solution, you guys, but BOU is there. Make sure you register to vote. There are voter registration. If you are a registered voter and your party, you changed your party, let's just say you were Green Party, Working Family Party, Conservative Party, whatever your case may be, we have closed primaries in New York City. That means if you want to vote for someone who's a Democrat, but you're represented as a Republican, you cannot vote. If you're a Democrat, you want to vote for a Republican in June, you cannot vote. Please check your voter registration. So your party represents the people you want to vote. The deadline for that is February 14th. If you don't change your party by February 14th, you're going to have a problem. If you've never registered before, it's okay. You can vote until January 14th. But if you are a registered voter and you have interest in changing parties, please do so before February 14th, okay? So what happened at my meeting besides that was we talked about the letter you guys watched me vote on. We talked about maybe doing some informational. I know a lot of times people make decisions because you don't have the information. There's a lot of issues about what is bail, what is discovery, what is causing all the crime. And we thought that would be very informational if we had a prosecutor, defense attorney, and a former judge kind of explain the 101s, you know? So people can stop blaming on this or blaming on that. I think people are getting information from the wrong source. So if we had police, prosecution, defense, and judge, you can have the whole system. and you might have a better understanding. So when people are blaming it on X, Y, and Z, you kind of have a better understanding of the system. We also want to talk about voting. Ranked choice voting is very, very, very different than regular voting. Some of you guys are like, what am I talking about? Because 2021 is the first time we ever used this system. So we're thinking about having a video and a sample ballot closer to June. And so these are the things we talked about, you guys. I write letters, try to keep you guys informed on federal, state, and city. I heard about budget issues. There's budget issues in Albany. There's gonna be budget issues in the city. And so hopefully my committee can do that. Also for my board members, show up to committee meetings, okay? Show up, it's a lot of work. I don't like when I don't have quorum. Show up to committee meetings. My meeting is a lot of writing and research, so if you don't do that, maybe not mine, but show up to all committee meetings, okay? That's it. Last one is immigration.
Oh, yeah.
Mike was on that.
Yes.
Immigration.
Good evening, everyone. Before I move, I just want to say sad news that in Washington, a plane crash, we lost 60 people. Let's hope a moment of silence for those divided souls. And may we put the respect on those people. They are our fellow Americans. Before I move to the Immigration Committee, one thing I want to mention. Last 27th of January, in this building and this room, we have our boys from the community board. What was the boys? The chair of this committee said, our South Bronx is not a dumping down. Another word, we cannot put the mic, we are not anti-migrant, being a chairman of the Immigration Committee. We support them, we support our community, we support our people, anywhere, any color, across the country. But when city made this decision, community board one boys was loud and clear. The other thing I want to share, our board president was in the same meeting with us. Our elected official, Honorable Diana Ayala, our office is here, and also other elected officials here. And their voice was with us, with the community board one, with our community. What was that? City wants to do whatever they want to do, but they need to be connected with our community. They need to be connected with our neighborhood. Is that happened on the market center? No, it does not happen. So everyone have to raise their voice and stand for their own point of view and say, with our chair, with our board, one chair, like she said, it is not the dumping down. Let's talk about the fair share. When it comes to the Staten Island, when it comes to the South, I don't know what it's called, Queensboro, Brooklynboro, it's nothing going to happen. Why we have to be there? So unitedly, we can make a significant difference on those issues. And I believe, as our DM mentioned that, we are working tirelessly to let the city know our actions, our returns, then not to put dumping down, because we have enough shelters, migrant center in our South Bronx. So from now on, let's make a united effort not to put this country. Even we don't want it, they put the jail center. What does it mean? We're not going to sit down. We have to let them know our voice. Thank you all for the opportunity again. The other thing, I want to say thank you, the Immigration Committee. We have a lot of things we are working. As we promised, we will create 24/7 helping center with our elected officials. That is why our Deputy Mayor's office, what's the name? Deputy Mayor? No, what is the Deputy Mayor? No. He is the Deputy what? No, he is not Deputy Mayor, our Council, Deputy Speaker. I'm sorry for the interruption. Okay. Deputy Speaker, make the arrangement. Like here, she's here, I believe, Gloria. Yeah. And she said, if you need any immigration chair, if you need any immigration help, come to our office, make an appointment, and get help. And then other official, our Honorable Salamanca, make the commitment. At the same time, I want to mention our Bono office. She has something that no you not, and it is on your email. So we are not sitting down and don't put the information behind. We try to help as a board to help you guys with this one. As a community board, just do not say, what are the executives doing? What are the big board members are doing? They are doing their part. Now it is your part. It is the part of our community. Come to united and do our things. Make a significant event, all these things. Anyway, I'm so excited to share all these things. But immigration committee meeting, as a secretary, I get a very expert people. And she is always there, she has an opinion. And she will explain what are we doing as a immigration committee in the boardwalk. And now I introduce our secretary of immigration committee, Argelia Ortiz. It is her turn to say something because it's late night. Argelia, this is your floor. Thank you.
I'm gonna make this very short, because people do want to go home, okay? So we're gonna make this very short. And again, the main advice, because folks, immigration right now is the hottest topic in our whole country. And we can stay here forever, talking about issue after issue after issue. My main advice is, come out to the committee meeting, where we could really pinpoint and really go back and forth, okay? But the truth is that after it's passed, I know a lot of you want to go home, okay? So to make it very short, one main thing that as the secretary of the immigrant committee I brought out is even the necessity, I'm noticing even now on a personal level, the amount of anxiety and the psychological need among our immigrants. And this district of ours has a big population of immigrants. There's a lot of anxiety now, there's a lot of fear. How do we reach out to these people? So that is, of course, a main concern, and the main thing that our board and everyone, all organizations, we're trying to have a direct, even if it's a 24-hour line, particularly for migrants and immigrants. Because the fact is that in our district, we do have a large percentage of an immigrant population. Okay, folks, you want to go home, and like I said, if you want to elaborate any more, my main advice is come out to our committee meeting. It will be good to see all of you at our immigration committee. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, all business.
No.
Only business. All right, can we have a motion?
I, Delorme, make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I, Mohammed Sheikh, make a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
Any discussion? All in favor? All in favor?
Aye. Aye. Have a good night. Thank you.
Get out of here.